Husband 30 male admits I 28 female am ugly. I am an unattractive woman, objectively. I've always been this way, and while I have accustomed myself to it, it nonetheless remains a daily fact that being an ugly woman sucks. I met my husband 4 years ago, and he is the greatest thing that's ever happened to me. He has always and frequently told me I'm beautiful and somehow sounded honest, without sounding like my mother, like someone without another option to answer. Last night, Saturday, he had a group of friends over to our home. They meet several times a month to hang out, catch up, and play games. He has known most of these guys since high school. I was upstairs in the kitchen preparing drinks and snacks when and was able to hear them in the basement and began to eavesdrop, which I know was rude, but it wasn't really intentional. I realized they were talking about me. A couple of guys were teasing my husband about me, specifically about my looks. I could tell it was supposed to be funny. It was not. There was a point where one of them referred to me as a troll, and my husband blew up, started shouting, "Listen, shut the freak up. I know that my name is ugly, but shut up. She makes me happy. Does your bimbo of the week do that, Jim? Dave, how long has it been since we've hung out and you haven't bitched about your wife?" Not real names. He went on for a while, defending me. But all I could hear was, "I know she's ugly, I know she's ugly, I know she's ugly," again and again in my head. It just broke me, I don't know why. I've always known I'm unattractive, but he isn't supposed to. He tells me I'm beautiful, so sincerely and consistently, I'd started to actually believe he thought that. I started to cry and ran into a shower so no one could hear me. When I came out an hour later, everyone had gone home, far earlier than normal. I went to bed and then haven't spoken to him all day today. But I think I've been able to avoid letting him know I'm upset, or avoiding him. I know rationally that what he said was true and sweet, and that I sound be happy he loves me, and not my body, but it doesn't seem to matter. I just want to be pretty. God, I feel so shallow. I've been crying all day. What do I say to him? Part of me wants to call him a liar, to scream and yell and cry, while the other part just wants to run away and never have to talk to him again, and acknowledge that even the greatest man I will ever meet can't find me attractive. TLDR overheard my husband admit to friends that I am ugly. Even although I knew this to be true already and the admitting happened in the midst of him explaining how much he loves me, it makes me feel terrible, worthless, and like I lost something I'd waited my whole life for. I'd given up hope I'd ever have a partner who even liked me before I met him. I lost a lottery spectacularly at birth, and my life feels like a big joke, a cycle of humiliation and punishment I did nothing to deserve. I don't even know how to talk to him. Now for some comments. Wow, this exploded overnight. I went to bed right after posting and never expected so much of a response. I can't tell you what a nice surprise this is to wake up to, all the wonderful things you guys have said. I'm going to talk to my husband today after he gets home. There is no way I can reply to all of these comments, but I promise I've read them each and every one. Glad to hear you feel a bit better. I'd be really interested in an update. I know how it feels to be loved despite my looks. So here's an internet hug. I just wanted to add something that helped me deal with my appearance a bit better. I realized that many of the traits that guys found attractive about me are traits I developed because I'm not pretty. I had to learn how to be alone and independent, how to not give a crap and have fun on my own, and how to not be superficial. That's what I can offer my SO. And unlike beauty, it's something worth building confidence on. And as your husband gets older, uglier, and wiser, he'll learn how to dress his appreciation of you in smarter words than he did yesterday. Best of luck. I hope you keep on reading, as there is some really good stuff here. To put his sentiments another way, you and I both know there are more beautiful women, but not to me. He could just be saying that, though. He might think OP is beautiful, however his friends don't see that. They tease him, and he's probably over it. Talk to him about it. OP. Just ask him if he thinks you're beautiful, then slowly head towards that you overheard them say that. He defended you, so he cares about your personality, which is a good thing. I hope it all works out well, OP. Update? This one turned out really long, sorry. First off, I'd just like to say thanks. Just wow. Over the last 2 days, I've had literally hundreds of messages and PMs. You guys rock. Seriously. Look at that thread. That's got to have one of the best positivity and sweetness to meanness and jerks ratios on all of Reddit. Like ever. You guys knocked it out of the park for me. I'm still figuring out why. So yesterday, after getting a barrage of support from you guys on my phone every couple minutes non-stop all day, I decided to try and confront my husband over what I'd overheard. After we were both home from work, I told him I needed to talk. I told him I'd overheard him and his friends, and he immediately started to apologize for them saying they were jerks and assholes and that I should have told him I'd heard. I had to stop him to let me get a word in and tell him it wasn't his friends so much as it was what he said. When I told him what he said, his whole tone changed. I could tell wasn't expecting to be blamed. I had had the whole conversation planned out. I wanted to explain how it made me feel, how I thought he really was attracted to me, and how betrayed it made me feel to hear him that behind my back. But I just started to cry, and couldn't really communicate what I wanted to say very well. He was awesome, though, and just held me. And then after a minute started to speak like he was reading right out of the nicest comments in the original thread, telling me he was just angry and didn't speak very well. That he really does find me attractive even if the world doesn't, and his friends don't. I calmed down pretty quick. I'd basically cried myself out the day before. He took me to his computer and showed me an email he sent to all of his friends on Sunday. I wish I could copy-paste it now. But he basically called all his friends assholes, said they'd crossed the line from good-natured trash talk to just being assholes, and then continued going far beyond. He said that, for time indefinite, they'd have to find another host. We're no longer welcome in my home. He actually said, my name's home. I thought that would make it sound like I was ordering him around being a witch, but he said he just wanted to empathize how wrong what they were doing was. Seeing him stand up for me again made me happy, especially seeing me do it without talking bad about me, helping me believe it really was just a heat-of-the-moment bad word choice. He told me to wait in the room and left, coming back with a folder. He said he was going to give me this for Christmas, but that he'd get me something else. I tried to say no, but he insisted. It was plane tickets and brochures. He set up a trip in early January to this spa hotel resort thing in British Columbia. It was pretty mind-blowing. But I realized that it had to be several $1,000s he'd spent. We budget pretty thoroughly. He shouldn't have been able to spend that without me noticing. I asked where he got the money, and he said he'd been planning this for more than a year and saving all the money assigned to his weekly spending money and collecting where I wouldn't notice, change from groceries, etc. When I say that sometimes I'm not sure I deserve him, understand that I'm not having a crisis I need help dealing with. He's just really awesome. He's taking me out for dinner, so I have to go. But I'll be on again tonight. TLDR. Everything is okay. Husband is an amazing person. I still wish I was prettier, but understand how lucky I am, how happy I should be, and how prettiness and happiness are not synonyms. Thank you, Reddit, for all the support I owe you guys. Now for some comments. Oh, that is pretty much the perfect update. Thanks. I hope you hang around to help others. That's how this subreddit stays alive. Holy crap. That is a good guy. I was smoking a turkey. That is why my eyes are watery. Don't look at me. But for real, glad to hear it went so well. Good guy all around. Listen. I don't find myself attractive, and I'm sure most people don't think I am either. My husband has always called me beautiful. When I'm down on myself and calling myself ugly, I'm overweight and I'm dealing with it, but I've been sitting on negative feelings about myself forever. Therapy is helping. It is a good thing for me to vent these feelings and not be ashamed to feel the way I do. He always says, "Do you think I'd marry an uggo?" Not a chance. We both know how you feel about your weight, and while I'm concerned about your health, I wouldn't have married you if I didn't find you attractive the way you are. If you lose weight, get healthier, and become happy with who you are, that is only the icing on the cake for me. I can't believe people in your own house would be so rude. All I have to say is, you must be a kick-ass person, not just your hubby. Even the best of men don't do this for just your average nice gal. They do this for someone amazing that they feel blessed to share their lives with. His love for you is so obvious and strong. And guess what? You deserve it. You deserve to be with this kind, appreciative, loving man that refuses to let you be disrespected by his friends. Because you are a kind, loving, beautiful, smart person. As one of the comments said yesterday, freak what the world thinks, it's what the people that matter think of you. And it looks like the people that matter know how lucky they are to have you in their life. Next story. I think my husband hates me. This is a throwaway account because I don't want this to be found by anyone I know. I'm just at my wit's end and I don't know what to do anymore. I feel trapped. I 37. Female have been with my husband for 15 years. He's always been very direct and harsh with his words. He's like that with almost everyone, but I live with him, so I get the most. Though I feel like the last couple years have escalated to just being hurtful. So much so, I think he hates me, but just likes the idea of having a wife and kids. I can't seem to get anything right. He complains about the way I speak, the words I use, and I never apologize correctly or fast enough. If I don't do something he has asked of me, I'm being disrespectful. If I take initiative on something, I'm being disrespectful. If I ask him to help me with something, he'll complain, because I should have known he's too busy or too tired, or I'm to blame for that said thing being broken in the first place. If I find someone to repair it for me, I'm still wrong. For the life of me, I cannot win whatever I choose. I'm so stressed all the time because I never know what I'm getting. Will it be the nice and compassionate or the mad and hurtful version? I'm so afraid all the time. I'm afraid of doing something wrong. I'm afraid of saying something wrong because one day my jokes will pass, and on another day, it'll be an offense. It's exhausting. If I make a comment and he's on one of the off days, he'll tell me that this is why he stays away from home. I never know when I should say something, honestly. I've tried to say that the way he was behaving and talking to me hurt me, but he says I'm playing the victim card and that I'm making him out to be the bad guy for having his boundaries or whatnot. For him, his reactions are justified as mine are lack of understanding and being able to take criticism. Don't get me wrong. I'm all for constructive criticism, but at this point, I feel like a POS most of the time. I feel like I'm the most horrible person to be around. I mean, if I am to believe everything he says about my character, I'm pretty awful. I know that this seems like a bunch of mumble-jumble, but I had to get it out. It's eating at me and making me so miserable. Now for some comments. A partner in life doesn't treat their partner like you've described. You're hurting me by the way you're behaving. Him. You're playing the victim and your boundaries are BS. What would you tell your kid if they came to you with the same problem? OP replied, wouldn't want that for any of my kids. I would advise them that they deserve better. I guess that I was just trying to appease and make things better by finding a way to be better, but I'm not winning at all at this. He doesn't want you to win and will always change the goalposts. It's abusive behavior, making you walk on eggshells. Get a book, read it in secret, do not let him know. It's called Why Does He Do That? By Lundy Bancroft. There's a free PDF online if you search the title. He's constantly moving the goalposts and telling you this crazy reality so you're always on the back foot. It's on purpose to keep you controlled and it's 100% abuse. You deserve better. Check out If He's So Great, Why Do I Feel So Bad? By Avery Neal, too. Great supplement for Bancroft's book. It focuses on the more subtle aspects of emotional abuse. I went through something extremely similar with my former partner of 8 years, so I know how much it hurts to be constantly criticized and dismissed by the person who promised to cherish and protect you. Please, stay strong.